Okay, today's cocktail is going to be a classic. We're going to do a Manhattan. This is a drink that even your home bartender should have in your repertoire. There's a million different stories about where the name Manhattan came from. Varying from the Manhattan Project to bar in Manhattan creating it. The one I like best is the Manhattan area code, which is 212. That's the classic proportion of ingredients in the Manhattan. 2 dashes of bitters, 1 part sweet vermouth, 2 parts rye or bourbon whiskey. I use rye whiskey. I am a bourbon and a rye drinker, but the Manhattans to me is all about the spice, and the rye is going to bring out a heavier spice. We'll get right to it. One of the important things to do here when you're creating this drink is to chill your glass first. So we're going to put some ice cubes here into the martini glass, and then a little bit of water. And while we prepare the drink, the glass is going to chill. So we're going to put ice cubes into our mixing glass here. Now, like I said, the traditional recipe for Manhattan is 2 dashes of bitters, 1 part of sweet vermouth, and 2 parts of whiskey. So we'll stick with the 2 dashes of bitters. You don't want to overdo it. It's kind of like over-salting your food or something if you're ever doing the bitters. And I do vary on the classic recipe a little bit because vermouth is good. I always suggest using a nice vermouth if you're going to make a great cocktail. This right here, Carbono Antica, is a classic Italian vermouth. Very nice. But I'm going to pour just a little shy of a half an ounce of vermouth because it's one of those things, a little goes a long way. And I really like the whiskey. And I like to let the whiskey really be the showboat here. So I'm going to use a rye whiskey. Once again, the quality of spirit you use. This is a drink where, if you want to go up the shelf a little bit, this is a great way to kind of pull out the sort of expression of some of those top shelf spirits. So, if you do want to go up your shelf a little bit and have a little bit of a nicer Manhattan, it's not a complete waste. But like I said, we scaled back the vermouth a little bit, and I think these days we could probably use a little more of the whiskey. So we're going to do 1.5 ounces, and then I'm going to add, say, an additional ounce. So it's a little out of proportion. You can play with the proportions yourself and make the drink that you prefer. And this is an important part. If you ever walk into a bar and you see a bartender shaking the crap out of a Manhattan, walk out or order a Bud Light or something. Because a proper Manhattan should be stirred. And I'm holding the glass from the top because we're not trying to transfer any heat. We're trying to chill this as much as possible. And we're trying not to bruise the whiskey. Most bartenders will say like 40 to 50 good stirs. I think that's probably a good point of evidence, There we go. Do this. I'm going to dump the water we have, the ice water we have here. So now we have a chilled martini glass. Strainer. Some bartenders will tell you to use what's called a julep strainer for a cocktail like this. Honestly, if you just have one of these Hawthorne strainers, it's going to be fine. Mouthfeel is going to be shades of gray different. But you just want to carefully pour your drink into your glass. And then we're going to grab one of these fantastic cherries to drop in there. Now, if you don't like cherries, a classic garnish on a Manhattan is also going to be an orange peel. But in here, we're just going to drop the cherry in. And there you have a properly prepared Manhattan. Cheers.